And we are back once again. Thanks for tuning in to the Still Nick Fans podcast. This is episode 13. Hopefully, it's lucky 13. I'm your man, Ron, and that's my brother, John. What's happening, bro?
What's going on? You're right about that. I hope it is Lucky 13 because we just came out of one.
That was, yeah, that was the epitome of not being lucky.
Talk about a revenge game, bro. Woo! Yikes.
That was rough. I knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen because, Giannis is like that. That's a good thing about a guy who is an MVP of the league and is one of the best players in the league. He has like a fire in his he doesn't like when certain things happen. He takes it as like a personal challenge. So I already knew that he was going to put this, he circled this one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew it was coming.
Yeah, after we blew them out did we play them at home? I think we played them at our house, right?
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
in our, or
At
we
the
beat them
Garden.
in their house? We beat us in the Garden, or we beat them in their house?
I think we beat them
Whichever it was.
Yeah, I think we beat them at the
They
Garden.
they knew he was angry. He was upset. He was sitting down on the sidelines, just soaking it all in. So, you know he was going to come firing. But you know what surprised me the most about this game
What's that?
was what's the kid's name? Brent.
Oh
Um,
yeah. He the
Brent
guy who was shooting
Forbes.
threes, Forbes. Yeah,
Yeah, he was lighting us up. I was like, yikes! Him and Augustine. I was like, geez.
yeah.
And we went to some shooting slumps. We didn't really shoot the ball well from the field. I mean, outside of Barrett and Burks, I think those were the two consistents. I think Quickly also did really well. I think he
Yep.
probably ended with about I don't know, 14, 15, 6, something around that range. So that was a tough one though, just to watch it and just bear witness to something like that after an All-Star game. I hate to say this though, bro. And I hope I don't speak that I didn't
I know
speak
what
it
you're
to
gonna say,
fruition.
man. No, don't say it.
You know what? I'm gonna hold off. I'm not gonna say a
uh,
thing. I'm not gonna do that to us. And I'm looking forward to our next game. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there.
but we know what it is though. It's there. I know exactly what you're gonna say, and we already talked about it. So hopefully it's
Right.
not the case. Hopefully it's not the
Yeah.
case. But
Yeah.
I
That's
will.
what I'm
I'm gonna
hoping
say
for.
one thing. I'm gonna give the Bucks a lot of credit. The defense this defensive intensity that they showed this time was way better than what they showed the last time they played us. So
It was definitely almost like we caught them by surprise. It
yeah,
was an
yeah,
early on game,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And you know what?
So
It's that thing that excuse me, that I like to say, or we like to say as Knicks fans sometimes, how you play down to your competition.
right.
At that time, the Knicks was playing okay, but not a good team. So the
They could have
Bucks may
slept
have
on
played
us,
down
right?
to the competition. It is what it is.
True,
So
and we were firing on all the cylinders, right? I think we were hitting threes.
we
We
were lights
weren't
out.
missing
We were
shots.
lights out.
We had some really good quarters against them. So I think that's the biggest difference, and that's the biggest takeaway for me was that we weren't shooting the way we did, at the same clip that we did the first time around when we met them. And we didn't have a Mitchell Robinson holding us down in the center position. You could tell the difference against Brook Lopez and Giannis. That size difference played a factor in last night's game. So may I say it again? We have to bulk up because if
Uh,
we don't, we're gonna run into that situation again.
yeah, no, you're right, man. Listen, that is one of the things that the Knicks definitely need to look at because it is an issue. And the other thing was I noticed I noticed that Randall on the defensive end could do nothing. Like nothing against Brook Lopez, could do nothing against Giannis. I can't blame him because it's a disadvantage in height, but it's
Mhm.
just like he couldn't do anything. Like he couldn't push him and keep him on the perimeter. Nothing.
Well, look, Giannis is a big boy, right? Like he's a big dude. He's coming. He's fast. He's athletic. He's super lengthy. So it's hard to defend a guy like that. Like if you know you got a one-on-one matchup like that, okay, fine. But now he got the one-on-one matchup, and then he's also getting bullied around by a legit 7-footer, 7'2", maybe 7'1".
Yeah.
You know, Brook Lopez, who's a heavyweight. You know what I mean? He's not a light, center. And he puts up buckets. He's going to play the outside game and the inside game. He can rebound really well. He can pass off the block really well. So, I just think that I don't even know if Brook Lopez even played a factor in the first game. I don't even know if he played many minutes. So I can't recall.
Yeah. I mean, you listen, you're right. I think the best thing the Bucks did outside of playing really good overall defense, strong defense, is their game plan for taking Randall out the game. I mean, he was
Right.
getting doubled and triple teamed at certain points. Like they just
Mhm.
said, listen, someone else is going to have to beat us. And
Right.
to RJ's credit, RJ had a good game. It just wasn't
Yeah.
enough. They
Right.
it was
His
such a
mid range was
blueprint.
was nice. His mid range was he had his mid range going. His mid
Yeah.
range game was on point, and that's the kind of RJ Barrett I want to see for the rest of the season. Is like take advantage of that mid range game. He early on he looked aggressive. Even Peyton looked aggressive, which I like to see from Peyton. But like I said, no one around that that scoring effort. Like you still got inconsistency from Bullock. You know what I mean? Which doesn't help. And then Knowledge Noel's was just overmatched. Just it was what it was. He was just overmatched. And again, that goes to size. Taj played a lot of minutes, still undersized. Um, but again, you had some good effort by Toppin. He scored some buckets. You know what I mean? That's good effort by a young kid like that. And then Randall just didn't have it going. He didn't have it going. He wasn't his normal shooting self, but you're gonna have those days where you don't have it, and you got to hope that the rest of the team pick it up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, I don't know, man. I think you can expect that sometimes guys don't have it. Randall has had a couple, maybe 3 games I can think of, maybe 4, but definitely 3 games I can think of where he didn't have it, and he just did other things. He wound up
Right.
still at the end of the game with decent numbers, and like good rebounds
Yeah.
and assists.
He had good assist and the rebounds, right? It was just he didn't run into the double
No,
digits. But that's because of the game
but he was
plan, right? Like the
frustrated.
Bucks really had a really strong game
He was
plan. Yeah,
frustrated. Like
absolutely.
he couldn't do
Absolutely.
anything.
And but you could see it, right? Like you could see it. He let it affect them. But I don't even know if it was only that. It was just because the Bucks were lighting it up.
Oh well,
And when
forget it.
you're
Yeah, they were on fire.
at that point, it's like it gets even more frustrating because you're like, yo, we're playing as the toughest defense we can possibly do. We're getting at it, and these guys are still hitting buckets. I mean,
Yeah,
they hit a couple of air ones. They were like, whoa,
that's the worst
you know?
feeling in the world, man. When you can't get it going
Right.
and the lead on the other end just keeps getting bigger. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's true. It didn't matter how many timeouts Tibbs took. It didn't matter. They just couldn't stop the bleeding. It
Nobody
was
had
just
it. Nobody had it. I mean,
yeah,
freaking,
yeah.
I know definitely 2, but quickly
Mhm.
was missing free throws. I'm like, no.
He made a couple of free
This,
throws,
this is
right?
not good. This is not good. Something's not right.
Yeah. And Middleton was in his bag. Like Middleton, like really looked like the all-star Middleton of last year. You know what I mean? Like he had that change of pace game going. He was hitting his mid-range shot. His game was very similar in style, that in the same style and breadth as Barrett,
Mhm.
where they were taking advantage of the mid-range game, and when you gave them the opportunity to drive to the lane, they did. So I thought it was a nice comparison there. Although there's a difference in size, I think Middleton's
No,
a little
Middleton's
taller.
taller, yeah.
Um, but
And it actually
yeah, but a very
that
similar
hurts
style
them
of
too
play.
because the Bucks have good length, and the Knicks like to
Oh yeah.
switch. And it's okay when
Hmm.
Barrett was on Middleton, even though there's a height disadvantage. Barrett is closer to him; he can play a little better. But when
Right.
Barrett would switch and Peyton would be on Middleton, oh man,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is bad.
He took advantage of it. But that's what I'm saying. Like he showed his all-star form against us, and that really took him over the top. You see, by the fourth quarter, they were playing most of their bench, and then their bench started lighting us up too. It was like, yeesh.
Yeah, no, it
Geez, you
was.
guys are that deep? I didn't know.
This was
So
rough, man. This was rough. And you know
it
what
was a
really
rough one.
pissed me off? I mean, I'm telling you, I was steaming because I don't like him. I used to like
Right.
him. I used to give him a chance because I thought, hey, you know, he's got good lineage, the family lines, the bloodlines. I'm like, hey, once a Nick, always a Nick. But ever since he
Donis,
left, and the Nasus
the
Antetokounmpo,
Nasus,
I
Donis,
do not like this guy,
yeah,
bro.
he's
He
full of
is a
himself.
punk to me, yo. He's
He is
mad,
full of
you know,
himself.
cocky. He doesn't do anything. If anything,
Right.
you should be lucky that you have Antetokounmpo on your back, but you
His
know, that's
brother.
about it.
He's lucky he's his brother. It's because he
That-
wouldn't even be in the league.
Yo, he talks like this kid talks like he's the next best thing. I'm like, you know, he gets me
Right.
focused. Yo, I'm pissed.
And that's the
Yeah,
second time, right? Because the first time was against Braz
yeah,
in garbage
yeah,
time, and then now he come,
yeah. I'm
he's
like,
playing
yo,
more minutes, which is interesting.
and actually,
He's
you know
playing more
what?
minutes
I
for that team.
forgot about that. He's got that spunky thing because one point when he was with the Knicks, he almost got into
Hmm.
something with somebody else. But I don't, you know, once
Right,
you're a Knick fan and he's a Knick player, you don't think about it too much. But now, like,
right.
I'm like, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, he seems to be a fiery kind of player, you know.
Yeah,
And he is the oldest brother, right? He's older than
yeah, he's the
Giannis.
oldest. And
Giannis,
yeah,
yeah,
Giannis is the middle brother.
right.
Which brings me to
Cool.
I don't know what happened to the younger guy because he was supposed to be, I mean, better than both of them. They, you know, they hyped that up, but you know that ain't true.
Yeah, and it's going to be difficult to
No,
get go against
yeah,
this phenom Greek freak.
nah,
Is
nah, nah,
It's
nah.
not to mess with. Um,
But you know, it was a tough game to watch.
right.
I do know that you know, the only good thing about it is you put it in the back of your mind that hey, we played them, we beat them, and we
Yeah.
blew them out too. So we even right now.
Exactly. Exactly. You're so right about that one. But look, moving on from that game, we got a lot of games coming up, but we're gonna get to that in a few. I just wanted to say we had a good time during All-Star break, chopping it up with our guy Mike Rios. That was a good time. You know, we jumped on Sportscaster. We spoke about, potential picks and a few other things we talked about. You know, how'd you feel about that day?
I thought it was great, man. Yeah, money making Mike, man. I like him. I like him. I like his insight he
He had
added.
that Cali flow already. I was like, you
Yeah,
only moved
man.
away a few months, like, a year or two ago, and you got the Cali flow.
I was like, come on, man, don't bring that heat over here. He was bringing too much heat. It was that fire, that
Too much
California
heat.
fire. I was like, nah.
It's
No,
true. So
he
true.
was definitely brought up some good points. I like some of his hot takes
Yeah.
on different things. Very insightful, and it made the conversation really good. Plus, you
Yeah.
know, we came off of kind of an interesting all-star weekend because you know
Hmm.
Julius played like 11 minutes and he got 4 points. He was lucky they even gave him the ball. You know, they really hazed him like he was
So
a
true.
rookie.
It's
But you
so
know, he said
true.
he had a great experience. He said he loved it. So that's
Hmm.
good. The point is to be happy about your accomplishment and just be in the room with
Right.
guys, you know,
Absolutely.
and then take it from
Absolutely.
there. Because if he gets there next year, he's gonna put some work in.
Yeah, you gotta get to, he's gotta get an opportunity again. But again, he has to stay consistent throughout this season and going to next season, riding that high. Um, and I think he will. I think he will. I'm confident that he will. Um, so we'll see how that goes. Um, so yeah, I mean, there isn't much to take away from this this horrible loss. So, you know, where should we go? I don't think we could do rises and fallers because we only really got one game to speak about it. So
Well,
I don't know.
The Knicks was the fallers on that one.
The full team, yeah.
The whole team fell.
It's a full on.
Uh,
Let's see if we'll rise tomorrow after the 2 p.m. game.
yeah,
We'll see
yeah,
if we get
yeah.
back over 500. Right now we're at even 5. So
Yeah, yeah. We can, you know, hold off on the rises and fallers for this week only because of the fact that we don't have much to really look at. But
right.
you know, I will say if I still wanted to do it and look at it in totality,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would say you know, Obi might be the faller because he was supposed to go in there and he said, I got some dunks nobody's ever done before. And I
Oh
was
yeah,
expecting,
no.
I was expecting some
He had
big thing.
that nice one, that one nice dunk through the
Yeah, no,
legs.
it wasn't bad. No, that
That was
wasn't
cool.
bad.
That's cool. But the
Um,
rest,
but I feel he did get robbed though. I don't care, even though his dunks, they were good. They weren't necessarily overly spectacular. I still think he should have won. I get it. The other guy, Anthony
it's tough.
Simmons,
He's
I
also
get it.
like super. He's 6'9". You know what I mean? So it
Yeah,
looks
the height
different.
thing, yeah. And
Looks different. Doesn't look like he had to elevate much to get. You know. So
plus these
I don't
dudes,
know.
I don't neither one of them had like a lot of personality. Because sometimes in these dunk competitions,
Right.
some of these guys, they try to ham it up a little bit and play to the crowd and make it more about what they're doing than the actual dunk, just to get people involved. I didn't see any of that this time around.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I liked what Mike said about the idea that Mike had brought up to us was like, bring in these, dunk, specialist, and have them go up against, or just have them, show what they can do and just spark things up. I don't know, potentially put one of a former winner against one of them. Maybe gives a little bit more entertaining, because I wasn't entertained. And then it was also during the halftime show. Like that was the halftime show.
Yeah.
And it wasn't spectacular at all. It was just like, I could have done without it. I would have rather seen the 3-point contest at that point.
No, I hear you, man, because
I was just like, what?
that's a good
Curry lit it
point.
up.
Yeah, Curry was
Yeah.
the 3-point contest is probably the best overall like little event that they have outside of the All-Star game, because you know what, it is like no matter what, you're not really bored of it. The guys go
Hmm.
out there, they shoot the rock. Like it's always good. Like there's nothing wrong with it.
Right. Yeah, you're
I,
right.
I don't think maybe there was one year where the participants weren't that great. Like the main attraction, I forgot what year it was, but the main
It
person who
was
was
like when
supposed to
Kenny
win it.
Smith was dunking. For
Yeah, I
that
don't
year,
know, man.
it
Yeah, it
was
could have
Dominique
been.
against Kenny Smith, and it was like, why is Kenny Smith dunking? Like, what?
They had a
What?
little something though. They had
Against
a little something.
Dominique? That
Yeah,
wasn't gonna be
that's
good.
crazy. That's crazy.
Dominique, that was an easy win for Dominique. He did the same 3 dunks and won. So I don't
I,
know.
I don't know,
There-
man. I don't know. I just I could care less about the All-Star weekend, to be honest. I've never
right,
really got too like we talked about it, since the Magic Johnson one. That was kind of the
right,
last time I really enjoyed it. I'm hoping that maybe they decide to like revamp it and figure out a way to do something different. The idea about bringing in, professional dunkers sounds good. Maybe even doing something different with the skills competition, like
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird because it's a specialized thing, right? Skills competition is specialized, so mostly point guards, take those. I don't know. I, I'm I just don't see the attraction in it. I mean, there are times where you could see like, you know, I would like to see like wire to wire games. You know what I mean? Like maybe cash games. If every player would get a certain amount of money if the last two, who wins the last 2 minutes of this game, right? You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah.
make it
Okay,
a
I see what you're
catch all
saying.
win
Like,
all, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh,
yeah.
now this is the money game right now, right? Where the first 5-10 minutes or whatever of the game of the quarter is regular play, having scrimmaging, warming up, whatever, do your fancy ducks, and then all of a sudden the last 2 or 3 minutes is the money game. Whoever wins, whichever
Mm.
side wins, gets the bonus money. You know what I mean? So now you have some incentive to
I see
come
what
out,
you're
and
saying.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Okay.
would
All
like to
right.
see
No,
something like
that's it.
that.
Yeah.
That would be cool, and then maybe double it up in the final, in the fourth quarter. Now instead of it being the last 3 minutes, then it's like, okay, you're 6 minutes, and then you double the prize money. You know what I mean, in the fourth. So now
Mm.
now there's competition, because now one side wins, the other team is gonna be like, nah, I don't want to lose out on any money, and I don't want to hand it off to the next guy because I want to eat some of that bread. So you're gonna get some healthy
No,
competition.
okay. I see what you
You see
did.
where I'm
Okay.
going there, bud?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
That
It's interesting.
would be
Interesting concept.
entertaining. That would be entertaining, not necessarily what they're doing now. Or they're trying to amp up with the number of points because that doesn't really do anything. Like getting to 175 points, what does that really do? It's just showing
Yeah,
that
I
you can
know.
score
Like
buckets. So
I don't know what's I don't get
I
exactly what
like the
they're trying to
Kobe
do.
tribute though. I gave him
That was
that.
cool,
I
and
like
that's why I
that.
got confused too, because I
Right.
looked at the score and I saw it was like 150 to whatever, and it was the fourth quarter was over, and then I realized, okay, they added Kobe's number, like
Right.
his points, and that, I mean that's his jersey number, and that's the amount of points you had to get to win. I got it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's cool. That's cool. And I would keep some of that for homage or whatever, like, just to symbolize, and pay respects. But I think that money game is, would be dope.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
who
yeah. That
when
would
you
be
when
pretty
you
cool.
when you you sing it, you signify someone like Kobe Bryant, you don't think he would have been all over that money game?
Forget about it.
Like him and Michael, you know what I mean? Like when you talk about people who love to bet and like don't like to
Yeah,
lose,
that would have been crazy.
like that's their game.
That would have been
That's
nuts.
their game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
MJ was gonna go for that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So that's what you see where you're elite. I can see Dame Lillard going bananas. I just don't like the way they pick them, the teams. Like they have to do some more even
Well,
kind of like
listen.
I
Now
don't know
that
what
was
Durant was doing.
Durant made a big mistake there
It made
because what
no
he did
sense.
was instead of thinking about let me put together a good team,
Matchups.
he started picking his peoples on his team. He started
Right.
picking he picked
Well,
Kyrie,
there's nothing
he
wrong
picked
with
Harden.
Kyrie and Harden. Yeah, but when you think about it, there's nothing wrong, but you don't have a matchup, right? And I think that's the thing. Like you have a matchup when you have Curry, Kyrie, but now when someone goes Lillard, you got to match that. You know what I mean? And if you don't match that with someone with that same sort of intensity, then you lose out. Because Harden can't guard Lillard. Like that's not even, just can't. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Harden, Lillard can guard Harden, but you don't have to. He doesn't have to.
Plus,
you
the other
know,
thing, like these guys like Lillard, and Curry, they like to pull from way out. Then you put them in the All-Star game where they can pull from way out when no,
hmm
oh jeez,
that was
man.
fun to watch though. I like that. I like those little sequences that they put together. I think it was Dumb and Chris Paul put a little sequence together of alley oops. That was cute. It's like
Yeah,
okay, the
yeah.
young, the point guards getting up there doing their little dunk. That was cool. But outside of that, I mean, I don't know. I was kind of in and out. I was also traveling, so I didn't really catch much of it. I caught bits and pieces of it when I got back. But yeah,
I mean, it
it's
is what
all
it
star.
is,
What can
man.
you do?
It's also yeah. You just gotta chalk it up to where that it's gonna happen every year, and make the best of it.
Yep, yep, yep.
But I will say that I think it's interesting because they've been reporting uh, lately that the Knicks are not projected to make a big splash by the trade deadline.
hmm
They're looking at
Right.
maybe smaller pieces, maybe a JJ Redick, um,
hmm
which I'm
He's still in
okay with.
talks because I haven't heard something with JJ
Yeah,
in a
no,
while.
apparently they're looking
So
at him, monitoring him right now and seeing if he
that's
would
good.
be a fit for the team and if they should make a move for him. I don't
Yeah.
mind the thought process of doing it that way. I actually prefer it, but I
Right.
don't necessarily know if JJ Redick would be my first choice. I
hmm
feel like Terrence Ross would be a better pick for them right
Well,
now.
that's interesting that you say Terrence Ross because I ran into a Post article recently that talks about Mo Bamba, not Terrence Ross. And I was like, Mo Bamba. Like, I get it. He's got the New York connection, but I don't know. He's too similar to, in my opinion, that's a lot similar to Mitchell Robinson already.
Well,
There's no real upside. I don't see it.
the thing
Do you?
is, Mo Bamba's a funky one. You know why? Because I do go back and forth. I reference my friend Prophet a lot. I go back and forth with
hmm
him a lot because he always loved Mo Bamba.
Okay.
He's always been killing me Sometimes we play 2K. He kills me with Mo Bamba. So like, because Mo Bamba's a weird player, because he
hmm
can do what Mitchell Robinson does, but he can shoot. He can actually shoot the three.
hmm He's a better shooter. Oh yeah, true, true. He
Yeah,
does
but
shoot
the
the three,
problem
right?
is, for whatever reason, this is why I can't wrap my head around it. But my buddy Prophet
hmm
said that, listen, he can do these things. For whatever reason, he's not getting the minutes because he's behind Vujicic and he's behind Gordon.
Right.
These guys are really taking away. They're hindering him from really growing, because he has these
Right.
abilities and he's not getting the playing time. I don't know what that's about. I kind of chalk it up to like a Ntilikina, a guy who has
hmm
abilities and can do certain things, and
Right.
he's not getting the minutes. But when he does get the minutes, he doesn't take full advantage of that. And I
Right.
think that's what happens because Mo's been on Orlando. It's been what, 3-4 years? I don't know.
Yeah, almost that.
Yeah,
If not a little more. I mean, I would say 4 years. I would
yeah.
say
I think
around
it's about 4
four
years.
years.
And so, like, I don't know. Maybe if he came to the Knicks, they because we're a different type of, and he's a defensive player, so maybe
Right.
Thibodeau would use him differently. But like, what do you really get out of that? Is he Nerlens Noel? Because I don't think he's
Uh,
really
I
Mitch. I
don't
think
know.
Mitch might be better than him,
Really?
except for the
Yeah,
fact that
I'm
Mo
not
can
really
shoot.
sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think that they're very, in my opinion, they're really similar. I haven't seen Obama play much outside of when we played them the Orlando game, and he didn't really
Mhm.
he did okay. He had a couple of blocks and scored a couple of buckets, but wasn't nothing that stood out so
Yeah,
much.
because that's the
So
thing. That's the problem with him. He's not a focal
right,
point of the offense. And I guess
right,
whenever they run the offense, when he gets the ball, maybe it's his role to move the ball and not be
right.
aggressive with his offense. I guess, I don't know, but it's a
That's a
shame
good point.
because he's got some ability.
Yeah, so I mean that's what I heard. I mean, that's what I ran into, and I was like, oh, interesting, because that's an Orlando player, you know. But again, like all the Drummond stuff has calmed down. All of
Hmm.
the Bradley Beal conversations have calmed down. So I think you're right, and I think that's whatever the vibes is kicking off right now about them not making a big splash. I think that just may happen. It won't be a big splash, and we're going to the end of the season looking to see how we round out when it comes to draft picks and where our selections land. Um, the hope for us is that the Mavericks don't you know spiral somewhere at the lower quadrant of that of the West. So we can get a top pick. So guess we'll see how that goes. You
I mean, listen, it'd be nice, uh,
know.
if they start, facing tougher competition, like, because the Knicks schedule is going to be really tough coming up. But if the Mavericks start facing some
hmm
tougher competition, make it a little more dicey. Maybe they don't. I don't know, but I think the Mavericks are still a pretty good team. So I don't,
Right.
and the way they've been playing like right before the All-Star break, they were kind of
Right.
clicking, and that's
Yeah.
without getting good production from Porzingis.
Right. Right. Because he's also been kind of injured, right?
Yeah.
So he's been like a little injured, banged up. We'll see how it goes, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to these next game. I said it before. This is going to be our litmus test, and we're gonna see what comes of it. Either we're gonna show up and make some games really competitive. I want to see us win the next game against the OKC, against the Thunder, and if we can come up come up with a win against the Thunder, we'll see how we roll out against Brooklyn and the 76ers, because I know that's what we have next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen for right now, and we're going to look at what our upcoming schedule is.
That
Now
sounds
that I've just brought it up, I might as well
that sounds good.
show some of the
And I
screen.
gotta
Let's
tell
do
you,
that. All right,
the that
cool.
OKC game, it looks like it's a must win now. I think to
So true.
get that
So
nasty
true.
taste of the blowout out of your, out of here, and then also, to get back into the winning ways. You want to do it as quick as possible. Change the culture
Right.
again.
Right. You're so true. Is right. I we'll see how that goes. Let me see here. Did I get that right? Not really sure. Tell me if you get the share screen. All right.
Okay.
Let's see here.
There we go.
Are you getting that? All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's where we're at. We got the Thunder tomorrow at 2. And we have then followed that up with the Brooklyn Nets on Monday at an 8 o'clock game. So as of right now, we're on the road, on the road again. So we're playing road games coming out of this All-Star break, which we knew it was going to be a tough one coming off this All-Star break because we got a lot of back-to-backs coming up. So Thunder tomorrow, Nets on Monday, on Tuesday. So that's 2 back-to-back, Monday, Tuesday. And then we have the 76ers on the Tuesday. And then I'm going to scroll up a little bit and we'll come into the next games. Do you see that? Then we have the Magic on a Thursday night. And then we'll probably come on that Friday to talk about that 4-game swing. But then leading up to that weekend game is the 76ers all over again on that Sunday. It's a tough road for us.
Yes, sir. That is a rough one. But hey, you got to go through it. You got to take the bumps and the bruises and try your best to come out on top because
right.
That's them Nets are going to try to do some work on the Knicks, man. They got Blake
So
now, the full-headed monster over there. It's gonna be tough.
Have they played yet? Have they played yet? Did they play today or did they play yesterday? The Nets. So I would like to see what Blake looks like with that team. I really do. I'm not a fan, but I would like to see it.
Yet.
Okay.
I didn't see a highlight yet. I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure it's gonna be great. It's gonna be peachy. Match made in heaven.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Whatever, man. I don't know, man.
I'm not concerned.
I'm not worried about it at all. I still think that I predicted that the Knicks can beat the Nets. I still think they can. I don't care who they got over there. I think if the Knicks play the basketball that they can play, and Julius has a good game, because without Julius, all right, it's just forget it. You got to have Julius. He's the one guy who can put up the most points. And then everybody falls in. If you get what RJ's been doing lately, you get a good game from Julius, and then maybe Derrick Rose will be back. I don't know if he will though. Maybe if he's back, that'll help. And then you get whatever
some
you
numbers
get from
Quickly and Burks.
Yeah,
and, I think we're okay.
we
had
need
similar numbers. We need all of it, right? And you need consistency on the defense, and you also need, you need a game where not everybody's going to be clicking, because that's what happened against the Bucks. Everybody was clicking against this, and it was like, wow, we got no chance in this game. And the hardest part against Brooklyn is that at any one moment, any of those guys can beat you, singularly. But again, it's like when I look at that team, I look at the team and I say, like, okay, you're a front running team. Like that's the bandwagon team. If you ever seen a bandwagon team similar to like the Heat team when it was LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, that was the bandwagon team. It was like guys turn around and be like, oh, now I'm a Heat fan. But you were never a Heat fan. And they could always turn around, but I'm a LeBron fan, or I'm a Wade fan, or I'm a Bosh fan, and then try to, fake the funk just to feel like they're on cloud nine. It's like, okay, that's the bandwagon fan. And I think right now, the Brooklyn fan is, even if you were Brooklyn, like when they were with the Nets, at this point, you say you're a Brooklyn fan, you're almost a bandwagon fan. It just seems that way.
It's like they got so much now. It's like almost, whatever. Are you a real fan? I mean, look at the team. I don't know where were you last week? No,
that's the corporate. It's the corporate. It's the corporate fan. Like they're that's why New York still runs through the Knicks, right? Because we have the uniqueness of being around for so long, and our fans are real, true fans. You don't have, bandwagon fans. You may have them when we're doing well, but for the most part, most of our fans are really strong based and been around for a very long time, and really just, understand the game, unlike other, sports teams.
It's true. It's true. I don't know. But and the other thing about it, and don't get me wrong, I just want to, go back to this real quick. I
Okay.
know the Nets can be a beastie team. And I
Right.
know that, really on paper
They
they
better
should
be
they sh-
though.
yeah, they should be. I know
Right.
on paper they should destroy the Knicks, but I'm just saying I still feel like there's a chance the Knicks can beat them also because
Right.
of the fact they got so many stars over there. Who's going to get the ball when it matters?
Right.
Who's running the show? Somebody's getting more touches than the other person. And then you add
Hmm.
Blake. It's like they all got to figure that out.
Right.
Now, if this was the playoffs, then
Right.
maybe I would say it's a little different. But
Hmm.
right now it's still early, and then Blake is another shakeup to that team. So we'll see
Right.
what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to taking a win on this game. So you want to go down the line? What do you think? Okay, against Thunder,
Yeah, I
Nets,
think that's
and who I got there? It's Nets, Thunder, and Brooklyn.
yeah.
Whoa, Nets,
Nets and
Nets,
then
Thunder, and Brooklyn.
76ers.
Brooklyn is the Nets.
See, you don't even know.
76ers.
That's okay. You don't even
I
know
don't
who they
even know.
are because
I'm
they don't
thinking
matter. It's only
I
the New
think they
York
still in
Knicks.
Jersey. That's why. But yeah,
Um,
so Nets, Thunder, Nets, 76ers.
yeah, okay, so I had predicted that the Knicks was going to beat the Bucks. Wrong.
Right.
But but that's okay. I think the Knicks are going to beat the Thunder because I think it's a must win,
Right.
especially considering what's coming up. I think they got to try their best to win this game. I think the Knicks. I'm still going to say I think the Knicks can beat the Nets.
Right.
I am worried about the Knicks and the 76ers. I am worried about that game.
We
But
got bullied the first time around. We
yeah,
did.
yeah.
We did.
Yeah, I'm very worried about it, but we'll
Okay.
we'll see what happens. And I don't know, maybe, who knows? Maybe there's a new Nick by the time that they play the 76ers that can help.
That would be nice, but as of right now, I know from what the talks are saying, we can't probably see that. It
Nope.
probably won't happen. And then we have the Magics, and then we'll probably stop there. What do you think about the Magic game?
I think the Knicks should be able to win that game as well. I consider that because of the way it's sandwiched in between the other 76ers game. I think that's another must win. So I
Right.
think the Knicks, all games are games that they should be focusing on winning, but
Hmm.
priority is the Magic game and the OKC game. You got to win those two, and that'll still keep you
Hmm.
right at the 500 area.
Right.
So,
Right. Because then
you
you'll
know,
be if you lose against the Nets and 76ers at that point, you'll be 2-2 if you win the Magic and Thunder game, and we'll stay at 500 coming
yeah,
into a series against the 76ers, then back to back with the Wizards.
yeah, and
Um,
it's not that bad, because
hmm.
even if you go 2-2, you're okay. And then if the
Hmm.
say the 76ers beat the Knicks, both times, and then
Right.
you're one game under 500, then you get to face the Wizards, you know what? And you're gonna get to see the Wizards twice back to back. So if by any chance you don't win that first game against the Wizards, you see their game plan, you see how they're playing you can make adjustments and you can win the
Hmm.
second game. Like
Right.
they're it's not the best scenario, but it's not the worst scenario either.
Right. I agree with you. I agree with you right there. Um, but yeah, I mean, so if you're thinking we're gonna go 3-1, is that your prediction for that week?
No. I think we're gonna go 2-2.
2-2. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm
Yeah, I
I'm
can't.
I'm 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 gonna take the reverse, man. I'm gonna go 3-1. I'm going. We're gonna take that Nets game. I think we're
Oh,
going to take that. I'm thinking we're gonna
oh
win.
no,
Oh,
I'm taking the
the
Nets game.
Thunder game. I think we're gonna win the Thunder game. I think we're gonna win the Nets game, and I think we'll win the Orlando game, and
All
we'll
right,
lose
yeah,
against the 76ers.
yeah. I think I will say 3-1. I forgot. I did say I think they can win that net game. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna go.
with you
I'm gonna
three and
go
one.
there. Yeah, I'm gonna go there. Is that
I,
I think we're gonna call this one, and we're gonna bring it to fruition.
all right, man. I mean, you listen. Sometimes you speak and it happens. We'll see. Maybe you're right.
Listen, got put it in the air first. We got to put
Yeah,
it in the
yeah.
air. Good
It's
vibes.
out there. I don't know that
But I
air.
tell you, we win this game against the Nets. New York's only gonna be talking about New York Knicks. Ain't gonna be no buzz about no Brooklyn. Brooklyn's gonna be the has-been team at that point.
Oh yeah,
They
I mean,
better hope we don't win that game.
no, that's the thing. They don't want to lose that game. So that's the thing. What worries me a
Exactly.
little bit is that they might see
Right.
that as a must win, just for
Mm-hmm.
bragging rights, just for the the New
Mm-hmm.
York thing. But because if the Knicks win that game and they got Blake Griffin now
Oh,
too, you got all these stars over there. You
it's
still
on
lost to
and
us.
popping. It's all in popping. You ain't there gonna hear the last of it. They will not hit the
Speaking of
last of it.
popping, speaking of popping, which reminded me of topping.
Uh-huh. I see what you did there.
I was bothered by something that I failed to mention in that Bucks game, and it's
Okay.
something I mentioned before. I don't know, man. I don't feel like they are doing enough to get Toppin open, bro. And even in garbage time, it was like 7 or 8 minutes left in the game, and they're getting blown out. First off, Knox was still on the bench, but
Yeah, he didn't see no minutes.
I,
But
I
here's the
don't know.
question: didn't he scored some buckets though? I mean,
Yeah,
it's just garbage time though. It's not like it's
but
in
the
crucial moments of
buckets
the
were
game.
earlier, and like when Quickly had the
Right.
ball, Toppin was wide open in the corner, and Quickly went right past him and forced up a shot. Now I don't know. I don't know what to say, bro. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Quickly isn't too confident in that 3-point shot. That's why. Quickly's like, I seen you shoot this at practice, and you ain't really hitting them in practice, and I
Look,
damn sure ain't
I
gonna
know
give you
what's
this in the
going on.
game.
Yeah,
You
he's
know what
like,
I mean?
I seen
So,
the real.
you know, I don't know if he fits, man. And I was all for bringing in Toppin, right? I was a Halliburton Toppin guy, right? That was my guys. And for the life of me, I thought Toppin was like 6'10", 6'11". I don't know why. I never even bothered to look at his what they call that, his stats I've seen, but like
His measurements and
his
stuff.
profile. Yeah, like player profile. I wasn't even thinking to go that far into it because I was like, yo, he's playing the center power forward position. He's got to be in my head, in my mind, I was like, he's got to be 6'10", 6'11", And I was like, ooh, that combo with him and Mitch is gonna be something crazy. Right. That was that. I told you that. I remember, calling you and it's like, oh, we might get Toppin, and because everything that everyone was saying was he's NBA ready, body's ready, I was like, okay, this is a win-win. Regardless, because they were both on the board, and I was like, it's a win-win. Now I'm not so sure. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't know if he's the best fit. We may have lost. This may be a wash. Because I don't see him transitioning into a 3. I don't see the game. I don't see that sort of game. Our worst case scenario is we put Knox in over him at this point or at some point, and we could see a potential true 3, even though Knox is like 6'11", but he's more of a true wing player than Toppin is. Toppin seems to be more of a post player. He needs the ball on the block, so I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
But this is something I talked about before the All-Star break, right?
yeah, no, you
Where if
mentioned it.
there's anyone's minutes are going to be affected, it's going to be Toppin.
It's true. I mean, you did
So
mention it. So I mean, listen, we'll see what happens. But I will say tomorrow is probably the best test to see of what Toppin can do like right now.
right.
Because after that, when they play the Nets, he is going to get the business because
And
he's
he ain't
going to
going to
have
get
to.
no burn. I mean, you
No,
can't give
and
him no burn at
he's
that
going to go
point.
up. I mean, if he
Right.
gets in the game, he's going to be going up against Jordan and whoever other bigs
Blake.
they got over there, Blake.
Yeah,
It's going to be
Blake.
tough for him. So,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah, I
man.
don't know, man. I don't know. Again, our team would look a lot viable if we had someone like Drummond as a center, because then that can open up the floor, and then a JJ Redick or Terrence Ross. Like we had to, two of those players, we would be a lot different because at that point you're not relying on Bullock, and you're not relying on, Norland's Noel to be covering, big minutes in kind of those positions. That's the center and small forward shooting guard positions. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Listen, I still think we got enough to be competitive. I want to see them be competitive. I want them to become aggressive. I want to see a Knicks team that's motivated to come into the next game and win. I think if we get Derrick Rose back, we may have a spark there. I just don't know because at this point, this is like his second week going through COVID protocols, and we just went through an All-Star weekend. So I'm surprised that he's still out due to COVID protocols.
Which kind of makes me think that
It's
you know,
COVID.
it's COVID. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't no hey, I was around somebody. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But it is what it is,
Because
man.
it's right. A lot of folks have caught it. So
Yeah.
it's just
Well, I'm hoping they do get him back because that'll be like you said, it'll be a spark. It's like getting a spark again, and then hopefully we get closer to getting Mitch back because we need him, and that'll be a benefit too.
And there's no reports recently. Like the reports still say 4 to 6 weeks, and it's like he's probably on his he's probably like still 4 weeks away or 3 weeks away, if that, because now they gotta also test him, make sure he's healed properly and can catch the ball. It's his wrist, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was his wrist. Yeah.
Well,
So
no, it was his hand. His hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
hand. He broken hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
broken hand.
So I'm wondering, this is just a quick hot take. I'm just wondering if the Knicks softened their stance on the trade deadline and who they're going after because maybe they weren't hearing the type of flexibility with offers around the All-Star break. That's the time to talk. Maybe teams were still being very aggressive in what they wanted for their players because I was thinking that 10 teams make the playoffs, right? From East and West. So
that only leaves
more,
5. That only leaves what, 5 teams out?
Yeah. So maybe the fact that more teams can make it kind of hinders you getting a guy for a better deal because they're like, hey, we're gonna, we have a chance to get in the playoffs just like you guys. So
Right, exactly. Especially in the East where everyone's so close together. You know what I mean? Like there's like 6 teams that are all within a game from each other, and it changes depending on the week and who wins and who doesn't, you know what I mean? So I think we may have dropped, well, we was at 4 or 5 and now I think we're like 7, something like that in the standings. So
and that was just after one game. That's after one game.
That's what I'm saying, because they're so close, right? It's like Chicago. I think it's also the Magic, and it's just so many teams that are vying for the same position in that, and we're only like a game or 2 out from each other. So, I think we're gonna see that all year.
It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be a rat race. So we can just hope that they keep that same mindset and whatever magic they had from the first half, they continue to pull from that and understand that they're a team that belongs. They play good basketball. They're still the number 1 defensive team in the league.
Right.
So,
That's what we got going for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I said, we're gonna end this show, with some some music, and it's basically talking about a litmus test, and this is basically where we're at. We're gonna be rocking the full-on litmus test for the second half of our race, in hopes that we make a playoff run and a playoff push. I think we can get it done, though. I think we have, enough players in there who are motivated and want to establish themselves out as a winning team, at least for this season. So we'll see. I'm still kind of bummed that we don't see Austin Rivers anymore, even in spotty minutes, because, we've seen him in the bubble, we've seen him go off on some games for us that helped us win a few of those early games as a spark off the bench. I still think there's a place for him here. We're not going to be making any moves. I think we need to start looking at him as a potential player for this team and not just keeping him, down on the bench, because it doesn't make sense. You got him for a reason. You got him because he can score and he can get hot at any moment, and that could take you over the top. You might as well give the kid some minutes and, see if he can provide something with a Derrick Rose. I mean, hey, why not?
You never know. Yeah, you never know what can happen. Imagine, I mean, they were getting smacked by the Bucks, but imagine if Austin would have came into the Bucks game and had one of them Austin hot games, and maybe
where he had
Burks
20
got hot,
right in a quarter.
Yeah, like if Burks and Austin were hot in the same game, could you imagine? Because they can tear it up when they're hot.
Yeah, and Burks had a decent game. Burks had like 17 points against the Bucks. You know what I mean? So, or 16, one of those two. But he had a good decent game. You know, he was in double digits. Quickly was in double digits.
I mean,
But I
yeah,
mean,
14 quickly.
we was just so far off. You know what I mean? And I think at some point we had to make certain switches. So in order to, I mean, I think at one point we probably had it down to about like 9 at one point. I can't recall when, and maybe it may have been in the third quarter sometime where we were like the closest we got it was like at 9 point deficit, and then they just took off again. I think it was like a August hit a Augustine hit like a 4 point play or something like that, and that was kind of like lights out.
So she
So
wrote. Well, hey man, let's go into the next set of games with a positive outlook on what can happen.
listen, we're
Like I
going
said,
3-1. Like I said, like you
there you
said, we're going
go.
three
There
and
you
one.
go. There
So
you
that's
go.
what we're going with.
We're gonna take it. We're gonna take it, and and hopefully we get the wave started again. Let's
That's
go.
right. It
Let's
only
go
starts with
Knicks,
one.
baby.
We get that first one, anything could happen on that second game against the Nets. If we can win the
Fact.
next game tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we have a 2 o'clock early game, afternoon game. We come out aggressive, ready to go. This is we're on the road for all of these games, so we just gotta bring it to them. We just gotta bring it
That's
to them,
facts.
and they're young. That's what we got going against us. You know what I mean? Like they're young, they're energetic. We could bring some intensity. We can kind of fire back. I think we probably get an we could probably bully ball them a little bit. Randall on the block. Who
Yeah,
they got
man.
handling against Randall? They ain't really got bigs like that, right?
No, no, no.
The Thunder.
They don't have anybody for
They're
Randall.
very similar to our team, right?
Yeah, they're very similar to our team. They don't have anybody for Randall.
Right.
So we'll see. It should be a good game, man. But hey, as always, brother, you know what?
Yes.
I'm definitely always happy to chop it up with you, even in losses,
Number
even in the bad times,
13.
man.
Number
It's
13.
not lucky number 13, but it's number 13.
It's number 13, and we're good. We got good vibes going. We're gonna move on. We're gonna push on to next week's episode with a nice winning record. That's my hope, and that's what I'm sticking with.
I'm with you. Well,
Yes,
as
sir.
I always say, thank you for tuning in to the Still Nick Fans podcast. We appreciate you. Definitely feel free to like and subscribe. Comment down below.
Uh-huh.
Reach out to us on Twitter or Instagram at Still Nick Fans. And we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Once again,
That's
it's a
right.
pleasure, my brother. And
Thank you. Thank
we
you.
will see you next time. We are out of here.
All right. Peace out. Shout out to my boy Jose. What up?
Jose holding it down.
Peace.